Hey, so I have a great video for you guys today. Today we're going to show you um, what's really going on in the market, and we're going to show you why kind of my focus on the sectors that I'm focusing on are boding really well for a big jump coming up. So, first of all, one of the big trends that we noticed today, or at least this week, was that the tech stocks are falling. So that's kind of been the big thing overall, and it's dragged the Dow down, and especially not the Dow, but a little bit the Dow, but the Nasdaq and the S&P to a point. So if you looked at the indices, and you'll see that they had kind of a tough week, right? So if we look at basically since I don't know what is it midweek roughly, it's just kind of cratered a little bit for whatever that's worth for a couple days. And we look at the S&P and the same thing. Well, the problem is they're weighted with tech stocks, and the tech stocks have gone down because guess what? It's not really a huge surprise, guys. It's because the tech stocks have been buoyed because everybody's had to do things virtually, and they've been the big beneficiaries. But as things are opening up, people are going to use them less. And the market's kind of getting a sense of that, and they're realizing, oh my gosh, look at the valuations on these things. Look at the stock price on these things, and yet the economy is going to be opening up. We're going to go back to normal. It's not like tech stocks are going to collapse, but they're going to go back to a certain number. And then these people realize that, and they're like, yeah, we're going to take our profit right now, and we're going to take our ball and go home. So with that being said, we want to look at our stocks and find out if that theory of mine, if it's true, is it affecting the sectors that we like talking about: travel, oil. I almost call them malls, but they're not really malls, but like brick and mortar places, brick and mortar businesses. And so one of the things that we found was that's exactly what's going on. So first of all, the stock that we've been talking about for the last few weeks is AMC. Again, that went up 6% today. If we want to take a look at this for the month, this stock has just been awesome. I mean, it was down at, let me see, kind of when it took its jump. Yeah, it was sitting around $4. So we'll go about right here. And it's steadily gone up to $7. And most of I think they said within a couple weeks, 70% of their theaters are going to be open. They're already showing movies there. It's just a matter of getting the big blockbuster releases being released by the studios for them to really make their money. But this is the stock. This is kind of the COVID recovery stock, because if AMC is open and theaters are open, I don't. It's kind of a bellwether of what people as a whole think about the coronavirus and the pandemic and all that fun stuff. And I don't even know if it's a pandemic anymore. I think a few weeks ago they were saying it was right on the borderline of going back to an epidemic. So nobody said anything. I'm guessing it's probably an epidemic right now, but anyway, that's your bellwether stock for that. Then we look at some other ones. Let's look at our casino ones. We have Braemar Resorts. Again, that one went up 6% today. So that kind of follows that. We look at travel stocks. We look at Carnival Cruise. Now, I don't own Carnival Cruise anymore, but that one went up 6.5% today. Norwegian Cruise Lines went up 6% today. Azul Airlines, that's in Brazil, went up another 4% today. Signet Jewelers, that's your mall jewelry store, went up 11% today. And we'll take a look at them for the week. And they've been, kind of going up. They were down at 16. Let's take a look at where their ascent started. Oh, it's been steadily going up. Yeah, because this one's actually been doing really well for me. So it was kind of sitting at around, let's call it 11 or $12, and it's sitting now at 19. So that's kind of following that. Children's Place, same thing. This one's been really good. I had a limit order for this, and I thought if it goes down any further, I'll buy it, because I have a feeling it's going to go up. I just didn't know it was going to go up like the next day. And so we look at this one, and this one this week has been awesome for them. They were sitting down at about 20. I had a limit order of like 19, and it's now at 23. So I'm like, well, I'm not, I'll go ahead and cancel that limit order. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. The only stock that really broke the mold, well, first of all, before we go any further, I wanted to look for any stocks that were in the red, because those are actually good opportunities to buy low and to see if there's any big drops. have somebody else pay for the drop, have somebody else lose the money, and I'll buy it after they sell it. So I looked, and there wasn't really that much. So the theory that we've been going on for the last 3 or 4 weeks about the whole trading like an insider trader, it's still going. It's still happening every day. And you don't hear it on the news because it doesn't get ratings, but it's still the fact of the matter that we're seeing this recovery, and we're seeing all the stocks that are post-COVID stocks are showing up and performing. Now, the only stock that I want to talk about today that really doesn't follow on that pattern is AVCT. And this is just a well-run company. They had a merger with another company, and a lot of people are really high on them. This went up 7% today, but I don't know if that's an outlier. If we look at the week, it's gone up, it's gone down. It kind of had this jagged downhill, stayed there for a couple of days, and it recovered. So realistically, the trend line is about right here. So I think you have some negative drops and some positive gains. So I'm not really sure where that goes, but overall, it kind of follows what we've been talking about. All right. So as we look at our spreadsheet, and again, there's a link to the spreadsheet. You can actually download this, open it up, use it, make it better, cheat, call it yours, whatever you want to do. There's a link in the video description for this. Our actually portfolio today, the reason I want to talk about it is, we had all the tech stocks go down. We had the S&P go down. We had the Dow go down 0.5 point. And yet we went up 1.5 points. So that's kind of par for the course where we're at. It doesn't really matter what these stocks are doing. It matters what the sectors that we choose are doing. So with that being said, we're back over 80,000. And let's see. The one thing that I decided to do, like I said, we went and canceled that limit order for Children's Place because I just don't think it's going to be filled. And then the stock that I really wanted to buy, it's been has a soft spot in my heart, was Soho. And so we'll clear this out. And Soho, let's go over to this guy. We'll clear that out. We'll take a look at Soho. Make sure I got that there. All right. And then Robinhood, as they are prone to do sometimes, they decided they're going to resort all these stocks again. So it's like a blind person walking into their house and somebody kind of redecorates the house, and you end up banging your knee over everything. So I didn't even know where this stock was anymore. So, all right. It does look better. It's just different. You got to get used to it. All right. So Soho is Southern Hotels, sorry. And they do Crown Plaza. So they have individual hotels for Crown Plaza, DoubleTree, and Sheraton brands. Or actually, no, maybe they do the whole thing. Shoot, I didn't even realize it till right now. So it's an upscale hotel. So it's Hilton, Crown Plaza, DoubleTree, and Sheraton hotels. And as you start to see things open up and people start to travel, especially before winter, you have a lot of pent-up demand. People are stuck in their house. They want to travel. I am on that list. People with money who really haven't been affected by the pandemic at all. In fact, people making, I think they said over $100,000, they actually have seen a gain in income this year. So with that being said, I wanted to get this one because I really like this stock, this brand. It seemed like the numbers were good, but it just seemed like the ratio was never there on the upside. So I went in and looked today, and of course it popped up. And I was thinking, well, Tex Hospitality, maybe HMHC I had before, Children's Place I had before, and I thought Soho, man, it's never been that high on the list before. So it's over 3-to-1 ratio. I'm like, I'm taking it. So the current price is at 190, and I put a limit order at 175. So maybe it fills, maybe it doesn't. But if it does, let me make sure that upside seems kind of high. Soho 190. Oh, that's why. That is why. Oop. All right, so let's do. Sometimes you just got to make sure you're updating your formulas. That makes more sense. 3.45. So that's a pretty good ratio. Phils will take it, but overall doing good. The big thing to look at going forward is don't believe the hype. And that's the hype of the indices. A lot of times we'll see the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500. And those are just a basket of a lot of different industries. But we're not in a lot of different industries. When you see the market going up or down, that's not necessarily an indication of where we're going. I turned on the business channel today and I saw the stock market was down the Dow was down 800. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a rough day for certain stocks. But then we gained money. So don't believe the indices. The indices are trailing indicators. To be honest, they're for suckers to a certain degree. But all the marks are going. Everything that we're looking at is positive going forward. All the sports leagues have started. They've had maybe a case or two here, but hasn't really come anywhere near affecting them. And all the Corona bros are mad because the case numbers are going down. They're going down. They're having a hard time testing people. The disease isn't really there that often. It's funny. They said that a lot of the positive tests they had, of course they say this now, a lot of them, they said they determined that the person didn't even have an entire virus, that the positive test was from dead fragments of a virus. Meaning they had the virus, they beat the virus little part is sticking around their system, probably spurring antibodies, and yet they test positive. And they can't get anybody sick because they don't have a whole virus. That's how good things are happening right now. So the reason I say that is because this is the time to buy. You want to buy when people are fearful. When you're ahead of the curve and you know it's going to happen, then you want to go ahead and place that bet. It's like if you knew that the Chiefs were going to come back from a huge deficit against the 49ers and just smoke them going out the door in the Super Bowl, if you knew it ahead of time, you'd put as much money as you can on the bet to make as much as you can. And right now, that's kind of where we're at today. Now, one other lesson, and Mike, if you're listening, this is for you. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about investing, and he was saying that he was really up, and then he took a bath, and it was really frustrating. So I ended up getting on the phone. This is a guy I've known for 20 years. And one of the things he said was, he was trying to follow technicals, and support levels and resistance levels and fundamentals. And I told him, I was like, you can't do that. In a regular market, you can do that because those are based off of behavioral patterns in a typical market scenario. But when you have a black swan event like a pandemic, you can't do that because what's going to happen is that things don't behave that way. You have prices that are artificially suppressed, and government policies even putting additional pressure on them. And really the thing that's going to get those stocks moving isn't their sales or their performance, it's people's fear and the government response, and not anything like, okay, well, we have a better marketing strategy this quarter or we have new leadership. But no, it's just like the government let us open. So that one of the things that I want to reiterate is if you're looking to trade the market and trade on fundamentals and technicals, and you look at charts all day, it's a waste of time because you're speaking Russian in Italy. It's just not going to work. The second thing that happened is he was saying that he was basically trying to do swing trades where he would buy stock on a Monday and try to make a big profit by Friday. And I just told him, I was like, why the artificial deadline? You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. I mean, so what? What if you buy a stock on the 1st and you keep it until next month, or you keep it for 3 weeks? Why do you have to make money in 3 days? You're just being impatient. So I told him, and we'll see if he does it. Probably won't, but we'll see if he does it. But don't have a deadline that is made up in your own mind. For me, I have a goal, not a deadline. I have a goal by the end of the year to make enough money to put a down payment on my beach house. If you've watched these videos for a while, you know that's my goal and that's where I'm going. But if it doesn't happen by then, so what? What if it happens by February? Am I willing to wait till February where I wanted it done by the end of December, but what if it was Valentine's Day? What if it was mid-February? Would I wait till then? If the answer is no, you got to say, well, why? And if you're saying yes, well, then that tells you that the value of that deadline didn't mean anything. So with that being said, just to let you know, my goal is this portfolio we're going to have is going to hit about 300 grand. And that's going to put a nice chunk of a down payment on a beach house here in San Diego. And yes, some people are looking at that going, 300,000, I could buy 2 houses and where I live for that. Probably so, but San Diego is a really expensive place. So, and a beach house here is totally worth it. So that's what we're going for. I don't have a hard deadline, but I do have a goal. And again, for those who are new, we are not looking at the glory. We're not looking at the glory muscles like the biceps and things like that as far as value and gain and percent gain. Those are nice. We like looking at those. But our fundamental that we look at is trying to lower this cost basis as low as possible, to buy it as low as possible, to buy an underappreciated stock that we know that everything's pointing to it going up, because there's not an industry problem, there's not a sales problem, and this company wasn't in trouble to begin with. But good companies that are solid companies, market leaders, well-positioned, good finances, and then coronavirus hit and their stock took a tank. And then we're going to take that discount every day of the week. So with that being said, take a look over the weekend, download this spreadsheet that we have right here for you. If you don't have a Robinhood account yet, there's a link in the video description. You can get a free stock off of that as well. It's a great platform. My favorite one by far. 1,000 years better, 1,000 times better than eBay, E-Trade. So with that being said, get started, get your portfolio going. Don't sit on the sidelines. There's never been a time where you can legally trade like an insider trader as there is now. So take advantage of it. If you have any questions, reach out to me, email me, put a comment in the video. With that being said, we'll see you soon. To get more information on the sales cheat code, go ahead and click on the subscribe button below. Also, down below in the video description, down there, there's a link that takes you to our website that gives you additional content, some additional freebies that we have, and gives you information on some programs that we have that have been proven to help people to make sales easy so that you can make the kind of money you want, live the lifestyle that you've always wanted, and not have to struggle in the process. And what might be the coolest thing of all is you don't have to put much effort into it. It truly is a cheat code that most people don't know about. And it's a cheat code that can change your life today. So click on the link below and let me help you start to experience these results starting right now.